Alright, yeah. How's it going, Mono? I am here, finally. Yeah, so, turns out, uh, I may or may not need more than one alarm. Because of, yeah, the first one went off and I didn't hear it. So, that's why I'm late. But yeah, let's get right into it. I gotta adjust this one too. There we go. Finally made it in time for the stream. Yeah, I mean, it's a deadline stream, but we only have just one, so, which is a bit unfortunate. But, missed the past two. Well, that's because the deadline streams were, they've been, not on Saturdays because of, because for some reason they just keep deciding, yeah, let's just keep screwing the Premier League teams over and putting them on Fridays, which just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, they're typically playing teams that you know, don't necessarily have to play in like Europe or something like that. So like next week is what is it? Palace versus Newcastle on the Friday, which you can say is like isn't that good of a game, but you know, is what it is. I'm just quickly getting things set up as fast as I can here. Because I was in a mad rush. Okay. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, we should be good to go. For those that don't know, we do have some emotes now, so I'll post them in the chat. So the first one is the tier 1, the next one is the tier 2, and the next one is the tier 3. So if you want to support the channel by subscribing, you can do. It is not required by any means, but it is greatly appreciated. Yeah, the first, I just have them as with test names right now because I don't want to have to, you know, have people type in pilot F2 and then the name because that's just a bit long. The first one is basically going to be called pilot approved, which is to him with like a little thumb emoji. So yeah, if you want to support the channel, you can do. Again, not required. You guys being here and discussing fantasy is more than enough already. But if you choose to support the channel, be my guest. Yeah. All right. Let's get into I have less than 30 minutes now because I was gonna make a lineup video and it would have been like over an hour long because of the amount of transfers I could potentially change things up with, or different avenues that I can go without using a wildcard. So Mono has McCarthy, Chilwell, Cresswell, Walker Peters, Target, Bruno Fernandez, Captain, Son, Grealish, Adams, DCL, Kane. No -4 yet, just Bruno in captain and Salah out. Yeah. So here are you know, that's something similar. Well, the Bruno captain thing could potentially be something I look at. But being a United fan, I know that Bruno has limitations when it comes to playing at home. For some reason, and there's also when he played at Sporting as well, for some reason, he's just crap at home. Or just isn't as nearly as effective as he is away from home. So if there was going to be a fixture I'd captain him in, it'd be versus West Ham, it'd be versus Southampton, specifically Southampton. Because United's more than capable of emulating what Spurs did to Southampton, like playing the ball in behind and that sort of stuff. But yeah, so the players that I need to get rid of. I'm kind of considering hanging on to Salah, but my intuition tells me that I shouldn't do that because they said that, well, at least Klopp came out in his press conference and said that because you need a negative test before he says you need a negative test before the process starts. So to me, that means that once Salah has a negative test, then he has to wait 10 days before he can play. Now, if we look at the calendar, they were supposed to, him and El Neni, who's an Arsenal player, were supposed to fly in yesterday. So let's say we'll include yesterday. So the 20th, 21st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and then they play on the Saturday. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. That's not 10. So that means he would miss the Brighton game as well as his Champions League game, if my math is correct. Which it might not be. But that's 8 days. So that means he would definitely miss the Brighton game, and he would miss this week's game, even if he had a negative test, unless they go by some different rules, in which case he wouldn't follow those, and you know, just because he's been isolating in a different country. But I'm still looking to potentially get rid of him because he's not necessarily going to be a captaincy choice. Yes, it'd be nice to have him versus Brighton. It'd be nice to have him this week as well. But it's the Fulham away that's probably, you know, and then these games here that are probably what we're looking at. I could just do Salah to Bruno and then just run the team. That's possible. I could definitely do that. Or we can have some fun. So a couple of things I was thinking of. So I have 5.5 million in the bank. I have a lot of money in the bank, so I can do basically anything I want. So one option was get rid of Salah, get rid of Burke, get rid of Prudence, just to solve this problem right now. Just go with somebody cheap that's I know is going to play like Souček, just game in, game out. Bring in Bruno Fernandes. And then I could bring in De Bruyne, who did go up in price last night, but that's whatever. Same with Fernandes. I can bring in Fernandes, I can bring in Bruno. This could also be, I mean, these two could be Ziyech, they could be Grealish, they could be anyone of that sort. So that was option 1. Option 2 would be just, I mean, this is pretty boring, but just get rid of Salah and just put in Bruno, which, sure, whatever. And then just run the team from there. And then, but if we do that, so if we did that, actually, let's go back to that first one. So if we did that with Bruno and with Souček, basically next week we were going to take Kane out and put in Vardy, so we could do that, and we would have 1 million left to do whatever else if we wanted to hit. But the thing is, it would mean keeping Son, which is I'm okay with. That's not, you know, a terrible idea. Then we would so that would be in game week 10. Then game week 11 we would do nothing, and then game week 12 we would look to shift on Everton assets. So we could take out well, we would probably keep Calvert-Lewin, but we would get rid of James Rodriguez. We would get rid of Son for 2 free transfers. In game week 12 we could bring Salah back in, and then we could get rid of Calvert-Lewin. I could bring in like Watkins or something like that. It limits us a little bit, but it's still possible to go that route. Son to Ziyech be good for 1 week for -4? No, probably not. Son could still hurt City, that's for sure. Son is a better player than Ziyech too, just in terms of like FPL properties. There's arguments to be made. I mean, they play 2 different positions, but and they function as 2 different players, but Son FPL wise is better than Ziyech. Ziyech's gonna get your, you know, there's gonna be games where he's gonna get you, you know, just assists 3 games in a row, just 1 assist. There's going to be games where Son will get you a goal every game. There's games where Son's going to get you 3 goals, 2 goals, 4 goals, like stuff like that. He's a lot more explosive. Son to KDB, yeah, that looks on the cards. Yeah. I think basically by next week, like excluding the rest of your team, so like let's pretend these players all don't exist. The players that everyone's let me restore Son. The players that pretty much everybody has are these two, in Kane and Son. And people are either going to go from Kane down to like a cheapie, so like Watkins, to free up some money, or they're going to get Vardy or go to somebody equivalent of Werner, somebody like that. Jesus as well as another one. Yeah, but Aguero is back now apparently, so but we'll have to see. And then Son's going to go to a De Bruyne. That's basically what people are going to transform into. The problem is that some people like myself, if I have one more, if I were to bring in like Grealish this week as an example, right? I can't get like Barkley and Watkins if I wanted to, because of the fact that I have Steer on my bench, who's Aston Villa. So another thing I was thinking of was doing this. So getting rid of Burke, getting rid of Salah, so solving these 2 problems initially, and going Grealish and Barkley. And just having plenty of money if I wanted to. And basically just playing those 2 guys this week. Then the following week, so Podence will basically be a bench option. Then getting rid of Son, getting rid of Kane, going Vardy, and let's say De Bruyne or Sterling. Then in Game Week 11 doing nothing. And then in Game Week 12, maybe getting rid of James, potentially getting rid of Podence, and then bringing in for the Manchester Derby wouldn't be great, but it's still possible. Bring in Sterling, go with you know, a potential like higher cost midfielder, let's say a Ziyech or somebody like that. And just have Barkley as our bench midfield, or upgrade Calvert-Lewin to Ings if he's back as well, because Ings should be back. What's Game Week 12? Game Week 12 is December 12th. I think that comes too quickly for him, actually. I think Ings is back 14, which is a bit unfortunate, but we'll see. They said he's been back in training, so he might come back sooner, but that's also an option. Let's go to comments real quick. I'm fielding Rashford, Son, and Ziyech this week, but I'm thinking of taking a hit for Salah to get in some points. Not sure who to bring in though. Need to break even with a -4, as well as I'm taking the hit. So you're saying taking a hit for Salah, what, next week? Or whenever he comes back? I'm a bit confused. This week. Oh, Salah's going to be out this week. There's no way Salah's playing this week. 100% he's not playing. So, but if you're going to bring in somebody for Salah that you're just going to replace back, I mean, Mane's always good. A lot of people are overlooking him too. He's just a straight swap. You could just keep Mane until they go to play Fulham away. You could even captain Mane and Fulham away because it is an away fixture. If Salah's not back for the Brighton away game, Mane could be a captaincy option there because he is good away from home. And that just makes your Salah price point a lot easier to manage, because Salah's going to come down, Mane's going to go up if anything, and it saves you from having to worry about still having money in the bank. So that could be something, because you can, let's say Salah misses just this one game week, right? He misses Leicester at home. Well, you have whatever Mane does versus Leicester. Then if Salah's back in game week 10, well, it's an away fixture. So Mane's probably going to do better than Salah anyway. And we don't know what Salah's fitness is going to be like, because that'll be the first game he plays, if he does play it. Then it's Wolves at home, so you're not expecting much from both of them. And then it's Fulham away, so you could say, okay, that could be a Sadio Mane game as well. And then Spurs at home, again, not really much there, because it is two like bigger teams. If you want to make the swap to Salah here, that's what you would judge. This is what you would judge Mane over if you wanted to go that swap. You can also go double City. Double City is good as well. And basically you run the double City players for these 3 game weeks. So Spurs away, Burnley at home, Fulham away, or Fulham at home as well. You then ditch to get back Salah in game week 12, because he'll be definitely back by then, assuming he's not injured. And then Salah plays Fulham away. Fast question: Grealish, Ziyech, Bruno captain right now. I have Grealish. Probably the best one. Like, bias aside from being a Man United fan, I think on paper Bruno makes the most sense as a captain, because he is versus West Brom. But there's some interesting stats. Grealish, the last 2 times he's played against Brighton, he scored both of them. In both of them. Bruno at home is he only got like 39% of his points at home last season. But, and another thing with Bruno, Alex Tellez is going to play today. I would bet a large amount of money to do that, to say that is going to happen, because I don't expect Brandon Williams or somebody like that to play there, because Tellez should play. Tellez takes him off some set pieces, because he's left-footed. So if there's ever, if this is the 18-yard box here, and there's any free kick from like middle of the goal over, Tellez could take it, and both corners Tellez is probably going to take, if not definitely one of them, for in-swingers. So, and Tellez will probably play the full game, as will Bruno. So, on paper, a lot of people think that Bruno is good, and he is. He is versus West Brom. He can go and score a hat-trick today. I don't doubt that. But at home, his numbers haven't been good. Like, if we look at Bruno, so look at the away ones: 12 points, 11 points, 17 points, double-digit holes in every away fixture. At home, 2, 3. Got the penalty versus Spurs, 6, 2. United in general just haven't been good at home. At all. Rashford is the captaincy. Unfortunately, I don't have Bruno. Well, Rashford is probably a better captain, and the stats show that. At home, Rashford, since post-restart, has basically beat Bruno in every metric. Beats him for, I think it's shots in the box, touches in the box, shots on target, XG, XG non-penalty, all these sorts of stats. Rashford beats him at home. No question. It's just a matter of, is Rashford fit? Which he should be, I think. Was my team okay? Missed the comment. Where was the team? If you repost it, I can't scroll to it. I didn't see it, but if I remember correctly, it was you were the one Bruno captain. Did look fine. Overall, from what I remember, Mono. But yeah. And then the last thing, this was the interesting one. This was the crazy one. This was the Man United fan coming out in me. I said, okay, we'll get rid of Salah this week. Sure. We'll get somebody who's going to be stable that we know we were going to bring in next week anyway. And that was De Bruyne. Right? We know we're going to bring in De Bruyne or Sterling, whichever one I choose to do. I think Sterling has potentially more upside. It's just a matter of if he's fit or not. But, I mean, he should be fine. He was back in training. Didn't play the international break for the most part, so he's probably rested enough. We'll just put De Bruyne in there just because. The other person I was thinking of bringing in was the person who's going to steal points from Bruno Fernandes. And that was this dude. Now, I've seen enough of him in the Champions League to know that this guy's wicked on free kicks and could be quite good. And West Brom could be a clean sheet too. Should be a clean sheet. And it's not like his fixtures are terrible. Southampton away, might be difficult to keep clean sheet. West Ham only scored 1 versus Fulham. Man City's probably going to be tough, but Sheffield United doesn't score very many. Leeds will create chances, but again, it's at home, so it could be a good fixture. Wolves could be a clean sheet too. So there's going to be some couple of clean sheets in there, I think. Especially if United pick it up. Now, what does that look like for transfers further down the line? Well, if I were to, let's say, I could bring Rashford in here too, instead of like somebody else. But let's just say this is Grealish. So I'd make 3 transfers. It'd be Salah, Podence, and Mitchell out for Telles, De Bruyne, and Grealish, who would all start. I then could play Telles over Ayling. And then I could run 3-4-3. But then my defenders would be pretty much, instead of rotating 2 out of 3 defenders, I only have to rotate 1 out of 3 defenders. And defenders are quite cheap to do so. So, like, if we look at Lamptey's fixtures, you would think we'd want to play him probably game week 13, game week 14. Let's say game week 13 and 14. Ayling, we'd probably want to play him. Game week 13 is good. Game week 15 is good. So 13, 14, 15 we got covered. Kilman. Aston Villa at home isn't bad. Arsenal's probably not bad either because they can just defend. The earlier fixtures are a bit rougher, but we have 2 defenders that are going to be, playing game in game out. Chilwell and Telles. But Telles could be that next potential guy. And I like me a risky pick. And I put him on my buy, hold, sell video. So that means I gotta go with it, right? That's how it works. This could also be Ziyech as well, but I think long term Grealish is just good. And then next week we would do Kane to Vardy because that's the route we're going. And then if Salah is back for the Brighton game, we can go from Son straight to Salah. And that's who we would have. And then we would do nothing. And then in game week 12, we could get rid of James Rodriguez for somebody. But we could get rid of Calvert-Lewin in 12 because that's when their fixtures are bad. We could bring in Watkins because that'll be our third Aston Villa player if we want to. And then we can have up to 9 point something million to get Ziyech, to get Pulisic, to get Havertz, to get, these sorts of players if we wanted to. So definitely possible to do that. And we only have 6 minutes left, so I got to make a decision. So what do we all think? What do we think? Do we like the Telles thing? Do we want Bruno? Do we go with Rashford? Rashford's another one. Because the thing is with Man United, I think I'll get rid of them after 3 weeks anyway, which I kind of don't want to do with my transfers. Like, I don't want to have things penciled in 3 weeks down the line saying I don't want them anymore. So, because that would not be ideal. There are stats showing that Barkley is quite good as well. But if I get Barkley, that means it stops me from ever getting Watkins because I have Steer on my bench. So but yeah, okay. All right, decision time. I think I've made up my mind on getting rid of Salah for sure. He's definitely going. 100%. He's going. Definitely. And I think the player that I'm going to bring in is... What's the ownership for the Man City players? I know De Bruyne's is probably high. Oh, that's so difficult. That's what I deserve. De Bruyne is actually technically only 17.6% owned, which isn't very high. I just don't want to get him and he misses another penalty. That would suck. Sterling does have a potentially bigger upside. But I feel like De Bruyne in the big games will score, but against the crap teams, I think Sterling will score a lot more, which they play a lot more of in this run of fixtures. So I think I'm going to go Sterling. Also, a couple of people in my mini leagues have De Bruyne already, so be a different player. Yes, he's flagged, but I think he should be fine. I'm just going to double check it. Yeah, even Mourinho says that Sterling's going to play, so we should be fine. Yeah, we'll bring him in. And I think I'm actually gonna go with the Telles thing. I think it's fun. I think it's different, and it could pay off. Because I like him as a player. Telles. Plus, it sets my defense up quite nicely. Actually, can I do... Hold on. Let me just check one thing. Suchek. Grealish. Kane down 0.8. Yeah, I could definitely do that. If I wanted to. That would shore up my team. Rather than having Burke there. But we'll leave Burke for now. Just in case. Because if we want to still get Salah, we want that to be our ultimate thing. But yeah. Alright, let's do it. -8. Okay. Sterling's in. Tella's in for Ailing. Lamptey ahead. Save team. Calvert-Lewin captain. I like Calvert-Lewin this week. Kane with the vice captaincy. Yeah, I think that's what we're going with. Mitchell in a back 5 or play Son? Play Son, of course. There's no way you don't play Son. Also, we probably... Yep, the deadline should be up. So, that was a bit hectic. I got up late. And, yeah, that was a bit crazy. So this should be broken now. No, not broken yet. But yeah, I went with Sterling just because he's different. And we can always bring in De Bruyne next week as well, and then change later. So if I go to, let's say, the game's broken, but basically, I can always go next week for a hit. I can bring in De Bruyne and Vardy, and then sit on De Bruyne for like a couple of weeks and Sterling on a couple of weeks, see which one's better, and then dump the other one a couple of weeks later for Salah to bring him back in game week 12. So we'll see on that front. But yeah, thank you all for joining. For those that did, let me go to the big screen here. I was late, and I'm actually going to change it so that I have like 16 alarms for the next one, but it doesn't look like that's going to be anytime soon, because next game week is an early game week, which means the games start on Friday, which is a bit of a nuisance. But we move on from that. But the next time there is an early stream, I'll make sure to have 18 alarms so that I get up in time. But we had a good little chat. Hopefully everyone got their team in time. I had to rush at the very, very end. Hopefully my transfers pay off. I could have literally sat there and just done nothing this game week, but I think that it just made the most sense to make some moves. Then go into next week with, Kane out for Vardy, and then potentially bring Son out for Salah if he's back, and then just go from there. And then we'll be fine going into game week 12, towards we can get rid of the Everton asset. So defense is set up now for the foreseeable future, and yeah, hopefully, Tella should play, but hopefully he does well and keeps his place. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to follow us on all the socials. Check out all the stuff on the YouTubes, over here on Twitch. Check us out on Twitter, and yeah, I'm gonna go upload this VOD to YouTube, and I'm gonna go add 16 alarms for Saturdays to get up earlier. So that I actually get up on time. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.